Okay, if you're in the market right now for a brand new Ford Expedition, well, the 2027 is just right around the corner. So now, if you like SUV and truck related content, hit the subscribe button right now because I'm going to go over the details here for the new 2027 Ford Expedition. And we're going to outline why you should wait, if you can, to wait for the new 2027 Ford Expedition that's coming out soon, sometime pretty soon this year. Now, all right, let's get into the video. Okay, let's go. All right, the 2027 Ford Expedition is going to be roughly around $65,000 to $88,000. Not going to be cheap, but for those of you people that are looking for a full size, and I mean a full size SUV, this is one of the ones I personally think is a winner. Now, it's going to have a robust twin turbo V6. It's going to have an expansive, interior, mighty towing capabilities. So, it's going to be able to tow, and payload is going to be, really well for the size of the SUV. Now, if you wouldn't be caught dead in a minivan, but still need seating for, say, 8 people, the Ford Expedition full-size SUV is particularly spacious and practical, I will say. Despite its van-like accommodations, the Expedition has more in common with a pickup truck, is what I tell people, which comes with its pros and cons, of course. So it's going to have 9,600 pound maximum towing capacity, which is quite a bit. The only bad thing about it is it's going to have 400 to 440 horsepower. Or is that a bad thing, right? So it's going to have the twin turbo V6, and like I say, it's going to range from 400 to 440 horsepower, depending on probably the model and trim that you're going to end up taking. The power plant is brawny. It's going to be supplying plenty of locomotion in both the standard wheelbase model or the size XXL extended wheelbase Expedition, called the Expedition Max. Oh, that was kind of a tongue twister today, wasn't it? Now, the Ford Expedition is still relatively fresh off an update back in 2025. As such, we don't expect any significant changes for the 2027 model year. The full-size SUV is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, so if you're going to see in the images here, the badging that they're going to, have on the Ford Expedition to celebrate its 30th anniversary. So it's going to be kind of nice. Pricing and which one to buy. Now, the price, like I said, the price of the 2027 Ford Expedition, the Expedition Max, is expected to start around $66,000. Can go as high as $88,000, depending on trim and options. That's a lot of money, but hey, for those of you folks that need a larger SUV, well worth it, because this probably will last you 20 years without any major problems, I would think. You're going to have the active one, it's called 66,000, roughly. That's an estimated. Then you're going to have a platinum, it's going to start at 78,000. The 30th anniversary edition, that's going to cost you another 4,000, so you're going to be 82,000. You're going to have to want to pay for that extra stuff. They're going to have a Tremor edition, so it's going to be 85,000, another $3,000 added to the price, and the King Ranch, so that's 88,000. So, personally, if it was me and if I was buying one of these, I would probably be happy with, I'd say, the 30th anniversary one. I would save myself 6,000 all over going from that to the King Ranch. Personally, I don't think you should spend another $6,000 just to have King Ranch plastered all over the vehicle. But anyways, that's me. The entry-level active trim comes well equipped with a large 24-inch display screen. So as you can see from the photos here, the dash on this vehicle is pretty impressive if you like a lot of screens to look at. onboard Wi-Fi, a power adjustable center console, and more. But we think the Tremor is worth the upgrade, especially if you plan to take the Expedition off the beaten path. It comes with 33-inch all-terrain tires. It's going to have 440 horsepower with the twin-turbo V6 and off-roading tech such as the Ford's Trail Turn Assist feature is what the name implies, and low-speed cruise control. Interesting. Like I say, the engine, transmission, and power performance is going to be a 10-speed automatic, the 3.5-liter V6. It's going to be a rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, depending on which one you want to order. On a recent 350-mile road trip from Ford's Kentucky truck plant to Ann Arbor office, they're saying it was pretty decent on fuel economy. The Tremor gets, a slightly raised suspension. It's going to have the underbody protection skid plates and unique 18-inch wheels wrapped in 33-inch General Grabber all-terrain tires. Now, the 0 to 60 miles per hour time can go 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. That's the Expedition Max. The Expedition Max, it was, nearly 6,000 pounds. It's pretty decent, almost 5 seconds, 0 to 60. The V8 powered 2021 Chevy Tahoe with the Z71 took 7.5 seconds. So it's pretty fast, actually, for a large SUV. Towing and payload, here's what I like. If you buy this Ford Expedition to 2027, you can expect up to 9,600 pounds, while the longer Expedition Max rating is capped at 9,000 pounds. So if you buy the longer Expedition, you're going to lose 600 pounds in towing capacity because you got the extra added weight, added to the vehicle, because it's obviously it's a bigger unit to buy. Fuel economy, it's averaging 23 miles per gallon. The Expedition with rear-wheel drive, earns up to 16 miles per gallon city, 24 miles per gallon highway, with a combined of about 19 is what they're saying. Interior comfort and cargo. First row, the Expedition's cabin materials are in trim pieces, get fancier from model to model, which is obvious, topping out at the platinum trim, which is appointed with rich leather upholstery and massaging front seats. The second row, both the standard length Expedition and long wheelbase, it's going to have, pretty well the same leg room. Third row, while the third row can be controlled from the cargo area or back seats, it's reasonably spacious in the way back, and unlike in some rivals, it won't torture adults to sit back there. So that's interesting. So you're going to actually have quite a bit of room if you're one of the lucky ones to sit in the third row. So, because most third row SUVs, I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't want to be traveling more than an hour. But they're saying this one's going to be actually pretty nice. Cargo capacity, you've got 75 cubic feet in the Expedition Max and 61 cubic feet in the other one. So infotainment and connectivity, again, you're going to have a 24-inch touchscreen display. You're going to have Bluetooth wireless, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. It's going to have a 6-speaker audio system standard. The 10-speaker, is going to be the option for you. So safety and driver assist. Well, I'm not going to get into too much detail about that. It's pretty well standard for a lot of these vehicles. You got the standard features, forward collision warning, which is pretty basic now with the emergency braking. Optional safety standard, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist. So warranty and maintenance. So again, pretty standard here. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Powertrain is going to be 5 years, 60,000 miles. So, yeah, as you can see in the photos here, it's very, very nice. It's one of my top picks for a larger SUV. Love the color of this one. And it's funny because I have a neighbor that's got one of these, not a 2027, of course, but he's got I think a 2026, and it looks pretty well identical to this one that I'm showing you here. color-wise. So, yeah, so that's the video, folks. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye for now.